Is it working? Yes. Okay, we're getting the audio into all the different screens. That's there, it's there, it's there. Okay, I think we've got audio everywhere. If you can tell me if you can hear me. Can you hear me now? I'm sorry about this sort of craziness this morning. It's been a bit intense. Some of you got an extra stream, and some I didn't realize it was streaming. So I hope I wasn't swearing. I've already deleted it, so I didn't even check it. I've had to set up a whole different sound situation over here. I'm a bit frazzled. I'm so sorry, guys. I was like, oh yeah, everything's going great. Everything's going fantastic. Setting things up. My microphone didn't work. I'm like, oh, it just needs new battery. Where's its battery? In its little pouch. Where's its little pouch? And in our big office shuffle mess, like cleanup, I have put the pouch with all its spare batteries and all its bits and pieces somewhere safe. So Lindsay says we were stalkers, we couldn't hear anything. Well, I'm kind of glad you couldn't hear anything, because I'm sure I was probably swearing because I was a bit stressed out. It's all Box Elf's fault. No, it's no, I actually moved all the tech gear. Box Elf was just like, okay, you're going to need to know where the tech gear is, make sure you move it. And I popped it somewhere safe, and I'm just like, it's with the carrots. That's right. It's probably with the carrots. For those of you that don't know, Box Elf gave me some little carrot seeds to give to Kim, to Spanish Chick, and I can't find them anyway. Oh, all right. Whew. Deep breath. Okay. I did manage, excuse me, to run in and just make a cup of tea. I don't have my tea thermos. Okay, but you guys can see me, you can hear me, everything's good. If you could possibly jump over into the Fibrific Facebook page, I shared out that we're live now on there, but if you want to share that to your friends, get them in the chat. We've got a pattern giveaway today, so you really want to make sure that your friends get a chance to win as well. I haven't shared it into the group yet, no particular reason other than the fact that I realized it was already 4 past and I hadn't shared it in. Have you got the aircon on? I do. I'm sorry, you can probably hear it. I was trying to noise gate it down a little bit, but it is definitely pumping hard. It's really quite warm here this morning. So I'm really sorry if you can hear the air conditioning. We do have audio though, so at least you can hear the air conditioning, I suppose. Normally I have a little lav mic and you can't quite hear the air conditioning as much as usual, but with the microphone setup I've got today, you probably can hear it. So let me know if it gets distracting. I can probably turn it off and on throughout the chat every now and again. I probably don't need it on the whole time. So I'm just going to move my little thing. No, I don't, because I like to have my phone showing the stream just so I can keep an eye on it and make sure it's not getting laggy or anything. Okay, so I've just realized, you guys, if you've got top chat on, change it to live chat. I've just changed mine. Welcome to the Fibrific Live Craft and Chat today, you guys. We've got a competition. It sounds quite fine. I don't hear the aircon. Oh, that's really good. I'm glad to hear that, Leanne. Thank you for letting me know. I'm just going to jump over and grab our code for our giveaway and throw that in the chat. So this code will be running throughout the day. Not throughout the day, so throughout this chat. We will go in and draw that towards the end of the live stream, so at around 11:15-ish. I don't know. I'll just close it when I feel like it towards the end and go from there. Hey, Holly Anderson and Mermaid Magic, a newbie from Daytona Beach, Florida. Bub says she can't hear the air conditioning. It's just a very faint buzz. Oh, you guys, you make my day. Honestly, it means I can leave it on and not feel guilty and also not melt and die. So, that's always a positive. I'm not quite sure what that means, Spanish Chick. I'm sorry. It's left thumbs okay. I don't know. I'm not quite sure. You might have to send me a PM. I obviously have not learned our new code language. So we've got our social link code, and positively do not melt. I would like to not melt, if that's okay with everybody. I get so, am I the only one who just gets angry when I get hot? Like I get like I melt and I get, you know, like, ugh, and I get frustrated because I can't craft, I can't do anything I want to do. Bub, I can't see any buffering going up. Oh, Kim, thank you. On the left, hit the thumbs up. Okay. Sally says it's cold and windy here in Adelaide. Jackie gets grumpy in the heat. Grumpy is probably the better word than angry. You're right. I probably get more grumpy than I do angry for sure. Today's code is for, oh my gosh, I forgot the name, but I'm terrible. Hang on a second. I'm just going to have a quick look. I don't want to get the Despina shawl from My Crochetery. It is a crochet kit today. Not kit, crochet pattern. I've just realized I've got something on here and I just want to shut the screen down. Can I do that? I don't know if I can. Look, I probably could, but I'm not going to. Looks like we've got 28 watching today. I've just had a flash at a screen I don't normally get to see. So welcome to all of you who are in today's live crafting chat. So yeah, today's giveaway pattern is for the Despina shawl from My Crochetery, or Sylvia, whose surname I'm not going to destroy. Sylvia, I'm not going to destroy your surname. So if you want to check that out, it's one of the mods can pop a link in. Oh, thank you. I get cranky all of the time. Just ask my boss. Die Wench, you don't get cranky. You don't get cranky at all. Now I want that, and no, that and that. That's what I want on my screen. Okay, now I won't get. Leanne says, I've entered your pattern comp. It's crocheted. It's a pretty shawl. The thing I loved about it, because it's the same designer of that gorgeous mustard cow that I just finished. Her pattern was fantastic. There were no errors in the pattern. It was so clear that you could just work away with no problems, not trying to go, oh, I wonder what she means by this. Just sit down and crochet and get your thing done. Now, any mistakes in my pattern, which there are a couple, are on me. That I wasn't paying attention and I crossed my cables the wrong way. Totally on me. Nothing to do with her pattern. And so I've been messaging backwards and forwards a little bit. Sylvia probably harassing her a little bit. Sorry, Sylvia. Sylvia has allowed us for me to give away a couple of these Despina shawls. So there'll be one given away during the live stream, and there'll be one drawn in next week's live stream from the people who catch the replay. So in talking about people who catch the replay and win shawls, I want to pop over and draw our winner of the Adventurer Shawl replay. So let's have a quick squiz. We're going to choose our winner randomly from all participants. That's what we want. And then I need to download that, because I cannot see what their username is, but I have their email address. I can see their email address. It's just taking me a little bit to get the information that I need to find out what their it's Lindsay Chateau. Lindsay, you won the live stream replay of last week. So I'm just going to, so Lindsay Chateau, I will send you a message and send you the code. I'll send you a copy of the pattern. I'll gift it to you through Ravelry. So Sally Schilling says, I always forget to watch the replay back to enter. Oh, Chris Brake says she likes her patterns and I test for her. That's for Sylvia or My Crochetery. So Lindsay Chateau has scored herself a copy of the pattern that we put up last week, the name of which I can't remember. So let me bear with while I have a squiz. That was, the Adventurer Shawl, of course. So it's perfect to use up all your little minis and all that sort of stuff. So I'm just going to close this. Just making sure I've got not too much open and my computer doesn't have to have a heart attack. There we go. We want that. and that. Yay! All right. Chris Bragg says, I believe I already have that shawl. Ah, yes, she has the Despina shawl. Well, then don't enter and let someone else get a chance. Or you could enter and gift a copy to a friend. So, yeah, so we've had lots of stuff going on this week. We had Kylie from Fiber Lily jump onto her Facebook Live and have her Facebook Live monthly chat. And she had a very interesting topic that she had a quick talk about. Jacob saying you don't have to watch the replay to enter the replay giveaway. The entry link will be in the description after the stream. It's a second chance. Yeah, but you do have to remember to come back. So it's not there now. It'll be there later. So yeah, so you do have to remember to come back to watch it. The link will be there once the replay is all up in probably about an hour or so after the live stream finishes. So yeah, so at Fiberfest, you had an interesting event happen. I'm not going to go into too much detail exactly about what happened to Kylie. If you want to see that, there's a video over on her Facebook page of the Fiber Lily group. But one thing I wanted to talk about is the general situation that happened, and that was somebody rebranded her skein of yarn and claimed the dyeing as their own. Now, I have no problems with people destashing. We all buy yarn that we're not going to use and that we need to make space for more yarn that we will use. Our tastes change, our color preferences change. The fibers that we like to work with changes, or say you've got a project that you really want to do, but you just need to, it's like the destash brain. So you're definitely like, okay, I can't start that project till I use up this yarn, but I'm never going to use this yarn, so let's destash it. That's no problems. And you know what? In my stash, some labels have come off. But there is no way known to man that I would ever claim that dyeing as my own. I would handwrite a new label with as much information on it as I could remember, including the dyer's name. Now, I was mortified when Kylie told me about this. I was so upset for her, but just in general as well. It's just the nerve of somebody claiming somebody else's work as their own. Chintamani's put it in there that it's exactly like forging a painting. It's exactly like forging a painting. It is exactly like a student copying someone else's assignment and handing it in. It's exactly the same. There is no level of okay about it. There's now if this dyer went and if this dyer went and purchased some skeins of yarn and wanted to be inspired by the colorways, or even, which is something that happens in art schools, they do copy how a painter has painted a painting to learn the skills, but they never sell that painting as the original. They call it a copy of. They never just, my brain is just in total meltdown over this. It's plagiarism, it's IP theft, and it's just not on. I agree with you, Jackie, 100%. And Gamer Widow says, how did she find out? Gamer Widows, they were selling at the same place, and she walked up and saw it on the table. So go and watch her video. She explains the whole situation there. Watch it after the live stream. Don't run away now. Daiwen says, I was so sad. I don't understand how anyone can do that and think they will get away with it. And it's not even the thinking they'll get away with it. I don't understand how somebody could do it and then sleep at night. That's for me. I know for myself, I will go through and I'll watch videos and I will read books and I will learn how to do something and I will copy what they do. But I would never, ever, ever, ever sell that as my own work. I would sell it as a practice piece. Like I was learning how to do a thing and I copied this one. More often than not, I keep it. It's something I learned and I use it to remind myself that I learned how to keep skill. A new skill, and we do it. Like when people are learning designing, they will learn how to sit down and copy the Nike logo to work out how to get the vectors and how to do everything right. But they would never ever, well, some of them do try and pass it off, don't they? But no one in their right mind who wants to have a professional career would ever try and pass that work off as their own. Jackie says, yes, trying to replicate others' works is a great way to learn techniques, but always say that it's just what you have done and that it is based or copied from. Agreed, absolutely. But in this particular instance, this person literally purchased the yarn, ripped off the label, wrote her own label, upped the price, and put it on her table for sale. And when asked, did you dye this? She said yes. So we have got Kylie's back. We've got the back of every dyer, artist, writer, anybody who is a creator out there. Don't steal other people's work. Not that any of you guys in my live chat would do it. I can't imagine any of you would. I'd be horrified if I found out any of you did it intentionally. But we just don't steal people's thunder. We're all about lifting each other up. We're all about encouraging each other's creativity. And you know what? If you want to sit down and copy and watch one of my live dye sessions and make that yarn for yourself, you've still sat there and dyed it. You didn't just buy it, rip the label off and go, oh yeah, I dyed this. It's totally different. It's totally different. Oh my gosh. Anyway, I'm going to move on. I wanted to get that out in the open in the start. And that's right, Spanish Chick. It wasn't even her copying the technique or the colors. It was out and out stealing and relabeling. Absolutely. All right, guys. I'm going to have a sip of my tea. How is the audio going? Are we all good? Is everybody happy? I hope so. It is unthinkable, isn't it, Lindsay? Okay. So I have to remember I've actually got a physical microphone, but it's right here, and I have to keep remembering. I might even just swivel it just a little. I don't know if that's going to put it right in the shots now. So Spanish Chick says she has tea and Tim Tams. Oh, I'm a bit jealous. I have no sweet treats in my house at the moment. Am I mentioning names who did it? No, I'm not, Jan. I actually don't know the name of the person who did it because Kylie hasn't told me. But all I know is that it wasn't a dyer in Australia. That's all I can tell you. Now, we do know that this actually happens to other people around the place. It's not just us. And so it's not just Australia. It is all over the shop. But this was just an in-your-face instance of it happening. So Rebecca Nelson says she's finishing cooking dinner. She's having ribs, potato, and cranberry sauce. Everybody's going to Rebecca's place. Darwin says, I can't hear you over my bird. It always starts chirping the loudest when the TV is on. Well, I mean, that's the problem of having a bird in your house, isn't it, Darwin? Like, if Abby's rewatching this is why we don't have birds in our house. It's all right. I know that the camera did something. It's all good. I'm fixing it. Okay. So, yeah, we've got all sorts of technical things happening today. Woo! A couple of things. So Ida says, even copying your dye stream, it won't come out the same. Exactly right, Ida. And the thing is, you might look at it and you might go, well, I wish she had to put more orange in it, so I'm going to add more orange. It's always going to have your own flair on it if you actually get out the dye pot yourself. Jan Keeling says that she's hungry for ribs now. Me too, Jan, me too. I can't tell you, actually, the last time I had ribs. And I personally have never made ribs. I need to learn how to make ribs. So over on the Fiberific Fun Zone, I need your best rib recipes, you guys. Nothing too scary or hard, your best beginner rib recipes, okay? Is tonight on at IKEA? Yes, it is. Today is the first Thursday of the month, therefore it is a Caffeinated Crafters night. If you are local in the Brisbane, Queensland, Australia region, come down to IKEA Springwood after 6:30. We'll be all hanging out in the cafeteria area. We have tea, we eat cake, we do craft. We're basically loudy and rowdy and take over half the dining hall. No, we don't. We take up a couple of tables. It feels like half the dining hall. And I really have been enjoying our IKEA meetups. So I'm really enjoying that. Leanne's can't make it. Oh, what? What's what oh wow, Kerry Pole? I've missed what you're what oh wowing about. My hubby makes ribs for Christmas and we love it. We totally need a Bruce colorway or fish are friends, not food. Oh yes, that would be brilliant, Kylie. So for those of you that don't know, KVIT in the chat is Kylie, who has just recently gone through all of this nightmare. So go and give Kylie some love. Sally says, I'll be there in 6 hours. Well, like, Do it, Sally. Do it. One day we're all going to get together, Sally. Sally is our mod extraordinaire, but she is in Adelaide, which is it's a couple of states away from me. So we haven't met in the real, and I've met all my other mods, I think, except for Stephanie, who I have not met in real life either. But we will sort it out. Don't you worry. We'll sort it out. Chintamani says that Caffeinated Crafters is total fun. Caffeinated Crafters is total fun. Kylie needs to make a version of the stabby colorway for herself. I agree with that. So for those of you who don't know, last week we had a crazy fun like bonus die stream. We normally only do one a month, but we did an extra one for Halloween because it was actually the 31st here in Australia on the Thursday. So we made some beautiful colors, and I've got them right here. Do you guys want to see the beautiful colors that we made? Now, I'm not sure how washed out or grainy or whatever we're going to get with it, but we're going to give it a try. Talia is back because Chrome decided to stop responding. Isn't that the best, Talia, when the system just goes, that's my favorite. That's what happened this morning when the microphone didn't work. And then I don't know how I accidentally started streaming. I was not clicking over there at all, so I don't know. Chintamani wants to see colors. I'm also going to bring him along to Caffeinated Crafters tonight, so you guys who come can see them in the real life. But we made so many cute colors, and one of them we called Stabby because we flicked our we flicked the die on, not in a normal flicking method, but I actually grabbed a steak knife and flicked the die on with a steak knife. So therefore, Stabby. So this is Stabby right here. It's this beautiful color. I'm loving it a lot. It's a little washed out here, isn't it? But it's okay. It's pretty close. It's pretty close. So this is the Fiberific Limited color now. Stabby. And then we had a beautiful photo of an eerie Halloween sky. So that's this one here. And it's got some beautiful oranges. The oranges are washing out a little bit here. The orange, oh, there we go. They're okay. So we've got this gorgeous one. Sorry, what is the time for IKEA meetup at Logan? It is 6:30. Anytime after 6:30, we stay until they kick us out. So if you want to come later, come later. You don't have to be there at the same time. So this one was a beautiful eerie sky. So we painted the yarn in the tray. Like we started at the bottom at the dark was all trees and shadow, and we sort of went up through the eerie colors. So it looks fantastic. And then we had Skull Candy, which is like, this one's really going to blow out because it's so white. But there's all like colored speckles, and let's see if we can drop down to another camera. Hang on a second. Double camera. This one, come on, you can focus. There we go. So this is the Day of the Dead color here. Well, not Day of the Skull Candies. So we've got those looking fantastic. So, and then we've got, so these look great down here, don't they? Let's see if we can fit a few more on. All right, then we've got Zomit, which is zombie vomit, but you know, we called it Zomit so that we didn't have to say it all the time. So that's this one here, which is just this. I'll hold it up here first, and then I'll put it like that. So it's super multicolored speckle, all the colors, including like a really nice olivey green, just to bring it all together. And what else have we got? Oh, I can't forget, it's Halloween, which was this colorway inspired by what my daughter had done to decorate the calendar at home to say it's now Halloween time. So it's all like fluoro greens, bright oranges, bits of black. She was upset that I didn't put a bit of purple in. So soz. So there we go. So these are all the colors. I've lost my chat. Hang on a second. I'll bring it back. There we go. They are really pretty. Thank you. Darwin says Zomit is my favorite. Kylie says the colors look so strong and full on when you're dyeing them, but there's so much white in the end result. That's right. So when we were dyeing them, and it's something I talk about during the dyeing process as well, I was talking about how I didn't flip them. So only the color that soaked through went onto the back sides. And I personally love that. I personally love the bits of white that lighten it and make it less overpowering. But in saying that, I really think I would next time, or not next time, but another time when I dye something like how I dyed the Zomet, I think I would flip it. My concern with flipping, especially when doing something like this guy here, this one, is if you flip it, sometimes your colors don't line up properly. And so I just worry that I'm going to ruin it, especially with a couple in the pan. So I tend to err on the side of a bit of white than flipping. Does that make sense? So Abby's poster is awesome. Oh, look, I love it. And I am keen to make a pair of socks in either Zomet or It's Halloween. I can't decide, but I think they're going to make like awesome socks. And this is a soft weight yarn. It's got a bit of nylon in it. It's going to be great. My 4-year-old heard you talking about Halloween and cake and said it's not Halloween. What she talking about? Did she forget? Yeah, there's a bit of that. Kelly Pole says that they're beautiful and she love. Thank you, Kelly Pole. More dye and more squishing. There will be more dye and more squishing going on in the future. See, even though I've been dyeing for many years, what did I work it out to be at? I think it's about 8 or 9 years now. I'm still learning new techniques, and what I do is I like to perfect a technique before I start going too crazy down the well of another. And I, for many years, did a semi-solid variegated, which was this multi-layering or multi-glazing of colours. And I still do that one, but then I sort of went more into just the plain semi-solids where it was a single colour, but it's been semi-solid. And now I'm sort of going back in, and I did some, a little bit of speckling along the way, and I was never happy with my speckling. And then I had a big chat with Kylie, and the issue with my speckling is that I'm not brave enough. And so I'm trying to be braver with my speckling, as you can see. But I still love doing semi-solid colours because I personally love to use semi-solid colours. And so I think that's where it comes from, is that I want to use the yarns. So I want to make yarn that I want to use. And as I'm predominantly a crocheter, some of these guys don't always work out the best in a lot of the more traditional crochet patterns. In saying that, there have been some fantastic crochet patterns coming out with this exact sort of yarn in mind. So a lot of the fades and things like that, the crochet fades that Adobe Design does and things like that, they are using these sorts of things just perfectly. Christine says different phases of life and dying. Absolutely. Two Arctic Wolves is saying hi everybody. Hey, you didn't forget you're here. We did start a bit late. We had a bit of a false start. So and Spanish Chick says, I don't use enough brown speckles. So the brown speckle in joke is that Kylie likes to add a brown speckle. And when she was here doing her dye stream with us, which we still have not given the yarn away for, so no one's missed out. I just need to take photos and get on top of it. As you all know, me and photos, that's another area of my business I don't succeed very well in. So I struggle to get good photos. I'm getting better and I'm becoming more content and happy with the photos I have. They're beginning to look... I struggle with getting a photo that looks as good as it looks in real life, like the color, like in my face. And I tend to do things like tone down the photo or take a photo and let it stay a bit softer. I don't know why. I'm like, no, I don't want people to get it. And, you know, anyway, Spanish Chick says, but you did photos the other day. I did do photos the other day, but it was with a different background. So these ones are going to have a specific background and I didn't have it out yet. So... Kerry says, I've been using speckled yarn in the Bantam pattern. That's exactly right, and so have I. So the Bantam pattern is an amazing shawl that Adobe Designs has put out. So she has used a lot, she's recommended some speckles in there. So that's what I'm doing as well. So I'm going to move these guys. They're taking up all the space, so I'm going to move them over here. Oh, just so you know, all these are available over on the website. If you want to buy them, if you love them a lot, you totally can. And if you are in the USA, and you're worried about postage prices and you know, shipping costs and all that sort of stuff, you need to remember one very important thing. My website's in Australian dollars, and at the moment the Australian dollar is really bad against the US dollar, and so you can get yourself a really good deal. The other thing is that that while the postage to the US is not fantastic, I'm not going to lie, Australia Post is not the cheapest for post, but you've got like 500 gram minimum. So if you want me to do something like pop in a packet of Tim Tams or something like that, just to bulk out your package, let me know in the customer notes and I'll see what I can arrange for you. We'll see if we can send you some nice treaty treats. So, oh, we have this very empty table here, don't we? It's very empty. So what I wanted to talk about is what my next project's going to be. So I've got a few projects on the go and I struggle with project bags. Guys, I don't have enough project bags, and so I'm going to have a project to make a project bag. So I've got this book. It's called, I've had it for ages. It's called 63 cable crochet stitches. Now I've had this book for ages. It's pretty well out of print, guys, but what I've done is over on the Fiberific Amazon shop page, which there should be a link in down below, you can see that this is there. It's just the Kindle version. I don't recommend that you go out and spend like $50 to get someone's tatty secondhand version, but I reckon grab yourself the Kindle version so you've got it on your phone or whatever. It's a really great little book. I've had it for years. It's actually what I originally learnt to cable crochet out of. I can't even tell you how old it is. Hang on a second. Anyway, so what I've decided to do is I'm just going to turn this light down just a dash, just so that you can see what's going on a bit better. There we go. So it's got all these beautiful crochet cables. Now, unfortunately, they've done all the crocheting in white, which makes it very hard for my poor old cameras to cope with. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make up a little square, try and get them to be about the same size, using up, so I'm not going to give away the patterns, I'm just going to bring this back up. Back up to brightness, using scrap yarn. I've got all this scrap yarn, all in 4-ply. Some of it's like just little bits left over from projects. Some of it's little minis that are left over from the Mystery Lace Club minis. But I've got all these little cutesy mini bits of schmutz, right? I'll move that back. So I've got all these little bits of colour. So like I said, I love semi-solids, but I do like speckles. So I'm just going to make up, it's from 2006, Tell Me About Value project bags. Sorry? How is the spinning going? So another project I have on the go is that I'm spinning up some beautiful Duchess fibre from Beersheba and I'm going to spin it, then dye it, and then crochet it into a top. The spinning is still going. I'm doing it at night, but it's a big project. Chintami says the book's from 2006, so there you go. It's about 13 years old. Oh gosh, let's not go there. Tell me, I don't know what you mean by value project bags. So I'm just going to crochet myself up a project bag. So I'm going to, because all these are in like little mini skeins still, I've got a few here that are in little balls, like little easy bits to use. So and that's the thing, like not all of it's Pegasus, some of it's white gum wool, some of it's wool silk, there's some more wool silk, there's some sunflower, old sunflower sock. Actually, I've got even more minis in sunflower sock yarn. Oh, using the scraps will be economical. Oh, thank you, Kerry. Sorry, I was like trying to work out where we were going for a second there. I'm just going to pop this on the ground. Oops. I have a skein of yarn that's trying to escape. Up it goes. So I personally like using, this is a 4-ply yarn. I intend on making it about a standard 30 centimeters by 30 centimeters project bag. I don't like too big project bags. I'm just going to make 2 squares, and then I'll probably decide once I see the 2 squares, and I might actually make a band of more little squares or like half size rectangles or something, or I might even just do that in like all in one color if, you know, I've got half balls of stuff as well. So as I go through, if I had a notepad and a pen handy, which I don't, I'd show you. Will I line it? I will absolutely line it, and I'll also put on leather handles. I'm not a fan of, come on, there we go. I'm not a fan of the crocheted handles. I find that they stretch out. So I'll either make fabric handles, probably fabric handles of the lining, with a bit of interfacing in it or something, just to make it a bit stronger. But then I will actually stitch handles through, oops, there we go. I'll stitch handles through the lining. So, yeah, so it's one of those things. So I'm going to pick a nice easy one to start with. I'm just going to shove this to the side. My favorite cable, you guys ready? It's so lame. Are you ready for it? I'm going to find the picture and show it to you. It's so, I don't even know if it's in this book actually. Oh, come on. My goal was just to use cables in this book. Maybe it's not even in this book. I don't get to put my favorite in. That's disappointing. Let me look. Nope. Grr. My favorite one's not here. It is literally just rows stacked on top of each other, like a couple of stitches and then some front posts, so you get these beautiful front post stripes. But that's such a nice easy one to do first that I may even just do it anyway, because I've got to work out, we've got to do some mathing here, people. Mathing is fun. No, it's not. And yeah, so I suppose technically, because it's not twisting, it's not a cable, is it? So no, but it's just a stacked front post stitches. So let's start with, we'll move that to the side. You guys are going to be my notes. So I've got a 3mm hook. This is all sort of 4-ply yarn. I'm going to start with this grey because it's right here and it's already in a ball. And also I really love this koala grey. These are all, actually, are they all? They're currently all colours that I'm dyeing. Let me have a look. That's a one of, that's a one of. No, other than these two being one-offs, everything else is, and that was a Mystery Lace Club colour. Everything else is repeatable. So all these colours are repeatable, which is great. Do I oh, I've got 2 bits of that grey. Maybe I should save that. I might save the grey and use that for the band bit. So we'll use some coffee. Oh, I also have heaps of coffee. Well, this is annoying. And I also have heaps of mist. And heaps of Joss. And heaps of... Do you know what? That's frustrating me now. Alright. I'm just going to use this one. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, Chantel. It just doesn't matter. Alright, where's the end? Let's find the end. Alrighty. So I'm going to start with... I'm going to grab a little ruler because I do want it to be about 30 centimeters. So I'm going to try with 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2. It might be a while. Oh dear. So do you guys always count all your chains, or do you just go chain mad and then go back and count them later? Because right now I'm just going chain mad and I'm going to count them later. Oh, what am I doing? I'm like thinking, oh, it's got to be 30 centimeters. No, it doesn't have to be 30 centimeters, Chantel. Yeah, numpty. The whole bag's going to be 30 centimeters, and I want little cute squares. And obviously, depending on what I need, so 5 by 6. So we want the squares to be about that big. I mean, yeah, it's a creative process. Absolutely. You should do the cables in different colors. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do each square in different color. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So there's 16. All right. And then we want to go back in and, okay, we're going to treble through the back loop. So that's double crochet for you people in America. So the trebles for everybody else. I think most everybody else anyway. Australia, UK, New Zealand, I think are all trebles. But in the US it is. And the reason I'm going, like, I know it's a bit of a pain in the butt here right now. The reason I'm going through the back little, I mean, I can't even show you because the stitches are so fine, but I like to go through the little back lump because it means you get a nice little seat at the bottom that you can replicate at the top, and it makes it so you've got 2 loops for stitching squares together, so you get a bit more strength when you're actually sewing your squares together. Now, because I'm going to line this bag, that's not such a biggie, but I just like how it looks, and that's how I'm doing it. And yet it'll mean that this first row is always just a little bit slower. So, where are we? Except I use US terms. I count as I go, like real loud, so no one interrupts me. I like that, like 1, 2, 3. I like the light grey in front of you with the solid blue next to your right wrist. Well, funny you should mention that this one, is it this one and this one that you like them together? Because it's actually what this is. They're actually, oh, stop that. That's actually a striped version of the legs. Kerry says, I agree, the back bump on the foundation row. Yeah, it makes a difference. Sorry, there's pink yarn everywhere and it's bugging me, and I've got to fix it because I'm going to keep tangling it up and it's going to be a nightmare and I'm going to cry and everything's going to make me sad. We don't like sad, Chantel, so we'll just move. There we go. I don't mind having those in the shot. It makes it look more interesting. Spanner says, I always go through the back bump on a foundation row unless it's a lace type stitch. Yeah, so unless a pattern specifically says to go through the normal 2 loops, I tend to go through the back bump. It's a bit more work for myself. And I know it's a bit more work for myself, but it's only just for the foundation row. And it makes such a difference in your end product. It really does. It's heaps easier if you're doing it with bigger yarn and a bigger hook, let me tell you. Which pattern in the book am I doing? So for my first square, it's actually not a pattern in the book. It is just a basic, we're just going to stack front post stitches on top of each other and just make some nice straight lines. I thought it was in the book. It's actually my favorite beginner cable. Because it gives you the techniques and the skills that you need to make your crochet cables. But it's not in this book, which is frustrating. So everything else will come from this book. So except for this one that I'm doing right now. So this is just your little beginner. It's just to learn our front post stitching. It was really funny. When I was making that, the crochet October cowl, that I just finished, which is around here somewhere. Oh, excuse me, sorry. Something gave me the sneezies. Then it was quite funny because I'm like, oh man, I can't remember how to do a front post and a back post. And the funny thing was, I love crochet cables and I used to do them all the time. Like everything had like a crochet cable, or I'd turn corners using crochet cables. Because a big advantage, especially if you're doing a bag that has like a base, if you do the base and then you do the back loop, sorry, is it front loop? No, back loop post stitches, it'll actually start standing up on its own and you'll have a nice flat base with a little lip around it. So that's actually really good as well. Oh, thank you, you guys. Sometimes simple is better. Clean lines, no clutter. Yeah. Look, and I think especially for like a starting project, I probably should just count these stitches just quickly just to work out what I've actually got here. So we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 stitches. So if we do 3 then a post, is that right? I want to leave 3 on each end or 2 on each end and have an even number of posts in the middle. So we're going to do chain 1, turn, and half double crochets because they're my favorites. Believe it or not, I have a favorite crochet stitch. Do you guys have a favorite crochet stitch? You could probably single crochet through this section if you wanted, but I like the half double crochet. Also because how I crochet, my stitches I'm a, what do you call that? I'm a puller. So there's riders and pullers and all sorts of things for different ways to crochet. And I tend to pull, so my stitches tend to be a little long. And so if I do the half double crochet, it just means I've got a little bit more length for me for when I go back to do my front post stitches. So I can have a nice elongated stitch and it looks like it's meant to be rather than just looking like I accidentally did it and it's not supposed to be. So I'm currently working on a little scrap of kata, which is my favorite at the moment, which is why I made my cowl out of it. So I'm going to have a matching cowl and bag. Okay, then what we do is my brain just totally flipped it there. No, do you know what we did? We did something wrong. Okay, so we want to have our 3 to start with, then into our 4th, we want to go in through the front loop, bring it around the back and pull it up. Hang on, I did that stitch too long. I did a double treble instead of just a treble, or a single. And see how the stitches are the same height now, or pretty close to. And then you skip the stitch at the back, which took me for ages to work that out. Because I kept going, oh my God, they've got gills. I hate that they've got gills. And then around that one again. 1 and 2. And then bam, bam. And I'll look at the chat in 1 second, you guys. So if you've got any questions for me, get them in now. If you don't know about the competition for the free pattern, if one of the mods could pop that in. Oh, Sally's already popped it in. Good job, Sal. Okay. And then, bam. And I probably did my mathing wrong, so I'm just going to double check it. And if it's near enough, it's good enough. I can fix it up when I'm stitching it up. Hang on, I need both loops there. There we go. And pull through. Okay, so what have we got here? We had 3 at the start, then 1, then 2, then 1, then 2, then 1, then 2, then 2 at the end. That's all right. I can bear with that. Skip, skip, skip. And skipped. I'm just double checking I skipped my stitches properly. You can see how they're... It looks like I actually... Oh, I skipped 2 back there. All right, hang on a second. That'll even it all out. It means I did it right. It means I mathed right. Oh my God, guys. Whoops. I mathed right. I totally mathed right. Oh, I'm going to cry. Hang on. I've just got to make sure I'm only skipping the 1 stitch and then go into there. I did the math right and I made it look good, except I screwed it up at the start and now I have to go back and fix it. So just bear with while I fix it. Fix my bad math. So each of my squares, I'll try and keep them square-ish. Obviously, sometimes depending on the stitch that we choose, it'll change how many repeats we can have. And that might mess things up for us, or it might not. We'll see. 1, and then I get 3 at the end, which means it's going to be neater when I stitch it up, and it's all going to be balanced and stuff. Oh, I'm so happy. Hang on. All right. There we go. Look at that. Look, 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 everybody. There's 3 at the start. 1, 2, 3, and then a front post, and then there's 2. 1, 2, front post. 1, 2, front post. 1, 2, front post. 1, 2, 3 at the end. Yes. Gabriel says, what did I miss? Stabbed myself with a pin and had to find a bandit. Wow. I think my face cam's back now. Yep. Cool, cool, cool. Where are we? Is someone having problems entering the competition? It should ask for your YouTube name and your email address, and that's all I need. I need the email address to send you the pattern and the YouTube name so that I can say who you are as a winner. I won't put out your email address in public. Okay. Where are we at time-wise? We're doing good. we're doing good, you guys. I'm just going to sit up. So for those of you that don't know, I've got a muscle in my back that gets a bit weird at the moment. If I sit for too long, it goes hi. Hi, how's it going? I seem to recall that you've been sitting for some time. And so it gets a bit twingy. So if I start wiggling around now, it's because it's starting to be a bit annoying. And it's frustrating. So now that we have our foundation row is done and our first row of cable, what we need to do is we need to chain one, turn, and I'm going to single crochet across all our 16 stitches. It should be 16 anyway, if I've done the right number of stitches. So we want to pick up all the stitches, including the tops of the cables. So we're just gonna do this. Bam, bam, bam. Pattern link for the giveaway. Thank you. Rebecca's gonna let somebody else win. So she's not gonna bother entering. Okay, Rebecca. Leanne keeps having her internet connection drop out. I'm sorry to hear that, Leanne. I understand your pain. I really do. Now I just want to have a quick count, double check. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15. Where did I miss one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I didn't stitch in the end stitch. That's the problem. Oh, wait a second. Let me look here. Maybe I just miscounted at the start. So it's... No, I have. I've missed the end. I can see it from the other side. Silly, silly me. There it is there. Get in there. Single crochet. All right. Is anybody else having trouble with their asthma and hay fever allergies this week? Yes. My hay fever's been crazy. My little cough has started coming back. It's really bugging me, Christine. It bugs me a lot. I'll just deal with it though. I was trying not to complain, but I'm going to complain. It's bugging me. It's not as terrible as it was a couple of weeks ago though. Okay, now so we're doing our cable row again. So we're doing our chain up and then our half double into the first stitch. So half double, so it's a half double treble or a half, oh, what have I done here? Hang on. No, that's all right. No, it's not right. I've done something hinky. Hang on. I think I must have too many stitches. I must have lost a stitch. Hang on. We'll count later, okay? We'll just make it look right now and then we'll go back and count later, okay? Because obviously counting and me not working. So we're going to go back and do our 3 half doubles at the start, half double trebles. So our half trebles or half double crochets. Then we skip that one and we go in and we wrap around it and do a front post stitch. And then we skip the stitch behind it. We do the 2 after it. We're doing 2 in between each one. 1, 2, and now it's starting to stand up a bit more. You'll be able to see how it's coming up into a bit more of a line. Probably not the best color to show you how to do this or the best size yarn, but it's not really a front post lesson, right? You guys are just watching as I learn how to make my bag, like my design process, which is hilariously not designer-ish because I'm not a designer and I don't design things for one very important reason, which you will see as we go through this process. You'll learn why Chantel is not a designer. For a start, I don't have a notepad, so I'm going to be all like, Andrea, what did I do to do this? And she'll be like, it's on your live stream. Just watch it, you numpty. Actually, she won't be. She'll be lovely. Game Widows is heading off to her craft group. Nice job, Game Widows. But there, can you see how they're starting to sit up just that little bit more now? And they're starting to take their shape a little bit. So they'll just pop up. They'll just pop up. And I do think I only caught 1 stitch at the end. It's really important to make sure you catch both your front and your back loops, especially considering this is going to be a bag and we need the strength. Are you still doing front posts? Yes. I am still using the front post DCs in the US speak. Absolutely. So all through here, I don't go through any back posts. I only do front posts for this particular project. So yeah. Andrew says, I don't know, I tuned out after hello. Okay, so then we single crochet all the way across again. Kim, are you writing notes for me into the previous? Yes, into the previous ones. So we're just stacking them now, and we just do this until we get our square. It's just the same. We just keep repeating these few rows over and over again. Now everyone has their little quirks and their little ways that they like to do things. So some people don't like using the half double crochet in between their front post stitches. Some people actually like to use a full double crochet. I find that my stitches end up weird, and it's probably more about me than about anything else. But I mean, this is mine and I'm making it for me, so I can do whatever I want. But you have a single crochet row as well as the HDC. I wouldn't have thought the front post DC would be high enough. But you got to remember that I did say that I crochet longer stitches. And so I'm creating a bit of extra length behind it for myself. So if you are not a long stitcher, you might not like that. It might fold over a little bit. But I tend to end up with slightly loosish looking cables. That's why I'm doing it this way. But as I said, you know, everyone does things differently. So yeah, technically there would probably be enough height, but I mean, I'm going. And she'll also say, ask him. She will also say, ask him. So here we go. All right. I'm going to finish the square off. It's going to be done. 2, oops, and then 3. And then into the doobie watts. Skip 1. 1, 2, and into the doobie watts. I mean, there's probably like into the, so we insert our hook into behind the crochet stitch thing, crochet post from the previous row. So we yarn over, insert our hook into behind the post. It's just straight behind it. Grab a loop, bring it up, and bam, we're done. This is why I am not a designer. I rename things silly words. Hey Daigo, welcome to the chat. It's been ages since I've seen you. So yeah, so I'm going to finish this off here shortly. I've got to sit back up properly. My back does not like me sitting on this angle. So for me, it's sitting nice and flat, except for that edge there, but that'll sit flat in a second. So it's sitting nice and flat. The posts are nice and lined up. And if you give it a little tug, it just seems to sit everything just a bit better. Just give it a little tug. Oh, you were in the last live? Oh, it was a die stream. Sorry, Daigo. I'm not good with who's in the die streams because I don't actually watch the chat because Kim talks to me through that one. Are you alternating back post and front posts? No, it's all just front posts. Yeah, I'm you guys can all try those other ways, but this is my way for my little square here. So Leanne says we've hit 31.6 in our covered veranda. Now Leanne, I need to look at what I've hit. So hang on one sec while I have a quick look. Let me look here. Bomb.com. The bomb says, yeah, we're currently at 31.9. So that's great. That's fantastic. I'm loving that. Not. So yeah. It's getting a bit warm here. So this is a Queensland spring, which is about normal, really. Diewench has death grip. That's exactly right. Diewench would need to make more allowances because of her death grip. But yeah, so I'll probably make another couple of rows. I want it to be a square. I'll fold over and do this thing, you know, and make it go to sort of there. So it's probably another 2 or 3 rows. and I just want to make all little squares, and then I'll stitch all the squares together. Some of them might be slightly different shapes, and I'm not going to be legalistic about it. I'm making a bag out of scraps, and I was tossing up. There was so many really cute scrap bag patterns where you just crocheted a row in each color, and you could, like, as I've used up all the bits, I could have alternated and stuff like that. But I don't know, I'm really sucked into cables at the moment, and there was one that looked like it's probably got a proper name, and I don't know what its proper name is, but it's like you do a front post and then some single crochets, and then the front post again, and it ends up making this like really cool stepping stack thing. I don't know what it's called. I've seen it in a few different designers' works, and it looks fantastic, but it just looked like there was going to be 11 billion ends, and I didn't want to deal with 11 billion ends, and that's really the only reason why I didn't do it. But there was some really cute ones, and there was one, I've saved it into my library, that did this stacking step thing. If someone knows what that's called, if you could let me know, that'd be great. I'll have to look it up later. But what she did was she actually had like a like, you know, the calico bags, just the plain calico shopping bags. She actually had one of those and stitched around that and used that bag as the lining, and then sewed the crocheted onto the edge of that. And I thought, Apache Tears. Pip and Poppycock, hey, welcome to the chat. Yes, thank you. That sounds about right. But you're going to line it. You don't have to worry about ends. Look, I know, but I'm still going to weave the ends in. Because it's what I'm doing. Kay Bridge is saying it's a heat wave. No, it's windy and hot here with bushfires close to us. I hope you keep safe. Those of you that are in bushfire prone zones, we get hot here, but we're not in a bushfire prone zone. We're in the middle of suburbia in Queensland, and so we don't get it, but we get it close enough to us that the smoke gets us. It's just something you have to be careful of, and if they tell you to leave, you've got to follow instructions. That's all I'm going to say on it. But I just hope you're safe, and I hope your family is safe, and don't forget about your pets as well. Yeah, I think it's Apache Tears. Now that you've said it, I think it is Apache Tears. Di Wench's husband's a firefighter, so he is out fighting fires again today. It's a hot wind, won't be helping. Absolutely. It's only 8 in Tasmania. Okay, right. Oh dear. Okay, only 8 in Tas. That's great. Oh guys, I have a little announcement to make, which I meant to do at the start, which I totally forgot because I'm just like frazzle brain because we had no audio and I accidentally started the live stream early and all that stuff. But I am accepting wholesale orders. So if you have a local yarn store that you would like to see stocking fibrific yarns, send me a DM with who they are, like with the name of the yarn store, and I'll send them an email and see if they're interested. So if you wanted to see my yarns in your local yarn store, let me know. Kay Bridge is moving to Tassie. What is this 8? I've never heard of that. Leanne, you have to. We get down to like 4 overnight in winter. Of course you've heard of 8. I mean, not in the middle of the day, but... Leanne's not too far from where I am. So we do get some of the hotter weather. So, have you all entered the competition? That's my question for you, because I can't check that. I'm just going to go over here. So I'm going to crochet the next row on my little thing. I just wanted to, you know, Spanner Chick says, I thought your shack was my local yarn store. I mean, I am your local yarn store, Spanner Chick, for sure. But not everybody gets to come to Fibrific HQ to do their shoppings. So, you know, we have to think of others and not just ourselves. Christine says she'll mention it to a friend who owns a yarn store. Awesome, Christine. That would be great. Thank you. So, yeah, it's a bit exciting. I've only just decided to start doing it sort of this week. Well, no. How do I put it? I've only gotten everything ready to do it this week. And it's something I've been sort of thinking off and on about for ages. And I'm like, oh, I don't know if I want to do it. Oh, no. and go from there. The Craft Yarn Cottage in Ipswich and Yarn Glorious Yarn. Yeah, so I've sent a message through to Sue at Yarn Glorious Yarn, but I haven't heard back. And the other thing is, not everybody wants local hand dyed yarns. So if it doesn't appear, it's nothing against the yarn store. It just may be that they've, you know, got stock for now or whatever. Talia says, when I open my dream yarn store, you can come and visit. Oh wow, that sounds fun. It would be cool, so cool to see fibrific yarn in the wild at the shops. Wouldn't that be great? I think I'd cry, actually. I really think I'd cry. I think I'm giving myself too many still. So, yeah, I think I was giving myself one too many stitches at the start here. Is that right? So I want 1, 2, 3. There's 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I know, I'm good. I'm fine. Just keep doing what you're doing, Chantel. You're fine. The orange ones on my table, is that a new colorway? This one here? Or this one here? I'm not sure. Which one do you mean? Oh, you can't see what I'm doing. I'm sorry. I keep moving my cameras over a bit from what I'm used to. I like to put in my craft rooms yarn, so you definitely set it up. Because this one is orange sherbet. It's looking a bit crazy bright on screen right now. Orange sherbet. Now it's looking dull as ditch water, but anyway, it's somewhere in between those two. And then this is orange sherbet with stripes on a mist. And these ones are coffee. These are double shot coffee, so they're extra coffee. If that's what you mean. But yeah, the color is a bit off. It's a bit blown out. I think it's because of all the light. Anyway, it's a bit blown out. Kathleen says, if I could, I'd open a shop just to carry your yarn. Oh my gosh, Kathleen, that's a sweet thing to say to somebody. Like all blushy now. The one above the pink, yeah, that's the double shot coffee. What did I just do there? I don't know what it did. Hang on, I've just got to fix up my own mistakes. All right, I'm just gonna bring this over just a smidge and hope it hasn't shown all the coffees and stuff in the background. There we go, that's sitting better now, isn't it? It looks more orange on your phone. Yeah, sorry about that. It's a whole different screens showing different things sort of thing. Now, if you find that you're working this and you don't have long stitches like me, instead of doing like a double crochet or a treble in here, you can do a double treble or a treble. I'm so confused. The US the US double crochet, you could turn that into a treble, a US treble, which gives it a little bit of extra height. Or you could use, instead of using the UK Australia treble, you could do a double treble. Yes, I can bring your order tonight. If you're coming to Caffeinated Crafters and you want me to bring your order with me, just send me a message today. Like Spanish Chick, I'll toss yours in my car. Tammy, I'll toss yours in my car. But yeah, so if you've got an order in, or you put an order in today and you would like to for me to bring it with me to Caffeinated Crafters, let me know. Oh, thank you, Kathleen. That's beautiful. Thank you. I do feel like you mean it. I didn't mean to make it sound like I didn't, but I do. I think it's beautiful. So yarn over twice instead of once. That's exactly right. Just stick in an extra yarn over, Sally. It'll give you a little bit of extra height. Thank you, Kathleen. That means a lot. I get very bogged down in the negative sometimes, so I'm going to keep this one and remember it. Because it's also good to not get bogged down in the negative and remember that you know, people do like what we do. But yeah, so that's how it's looking. We keep going. do another couple of rows, just get them in there. So I think the cutter's looking very dark on the screen right now as well. What is twice times? I knew what you meant. I knew what you meant. Oh, I'm a goof. I'm doing the wrong stitch. Hang on, I'll fix it. I'll fix it. Like I said, the half double crochet is my favorite, or the half treble. And I just want singles here. Single crochet going back, because it's just picking up all the stitches again. And then we'll do our half doubles and trebles on the other side. Pick up the stitches. Dun, 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 dun. Whoops, don't yarn over first. Lolling at Sally. I lost a crochet hook from my limited edition pink tulip set. Kim, that's terrible. Now I'm just going to double check. Every now and again I just like to have a little row count just to make sure I haven't done anything crazy, because I do crazy stuff. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. See, I have 16 again. You guys remember how I got down to 15? And see, I do it all the time. You left it at Scouts. Well, they're not going to appreciate it. 1, 2, 3. I mean, the trick with this particular style of crochet is if you end up with an unusual amount of stitches, you can just leave stitches behind and just get your counts right. So 1, 2, and then go through your little doozy, what's it? So, and then you can get it back again. I mean, or you could pull it out and work out where your actual problem is and fix the problem. That's not something I tend to do though. Sally says, I must like using double crochet because I work on a design using half double and keep doing double. Yeah. What's it? You're quick. I'm a sloth crochet, which is fine. I'm okay with it. I'm just in awe of your speed. I have been crocheting a very long time, and I used to crochet for designers. And when you crochet for designers, being slow is not really an option, which is probably part of the reason why my stitches are elongated as well, to be, if truth be known. I'd say they go hand in hand. Working quickly and not pulling your tension properly, I would say they go hand in hand. So this is our little square, so just give that little tug, and that just lines all the post stitches up nicely. And then I'll give this, like, we'll give it a wash. I'll give them all a little wash and a block before I stitch them all together too, because I like to do that. And we're not quite square yet, so we need another row. So we'll do another row because I like squares. Oh, you don't. Someone has asked, but that's okay. So I am spinning up a project for some yarn I want to use. See, look, I'm doing it too. Sally was saying that she sometimes uses the wrong stitch, and I'm just automatically went to do the wrong stitch. My spinning is coming along. I'm nearly up to 200 grams out of 300 grams spun. I think I'm tossing up whether or not to do an extra 50 grams just in case. And then once I've spun it, then I've got to ply it. And then once it's plied, then I'm going to dye it. And then I'll start crocheting the top. And it's a really nice little top. It's called the Marafinda, I think it is. Are you doing a plain row to match the bottom? I'm going to try. We'll see if it makes it a square. So we've got that. I think I've got, I don't know. I think we've got room for one more repeat before it's a square, because I've been tugging on it, so when I wash it, it'll shrink down just a dash as well. So 1, 2, 3, then our front post, and then 1, 2, front post, front post, and 1, 2, front post, and 1, 2, and 3. Let's have a little foldy fold. Yep, we've still got room. Do extra so you don't have to worry about matching colorways after. Sorry? I don't understand. What do you mean by matching colorways? Oh, sorry, do extra spinning so I don't have to match the colorway. Yeah, you're right there. I think that's what I'm going to do. And that's why I'm tossing up whether or not to do the extra. I was tossing up whether to do the extra 50 grams. Because I'm spinning it quite fine. It's taking a long time as well, which I'm enjoying because the fiber is absolutely delicious. If you guys haven't spun up any of, actually I'm not, this top I'm using Castledale, not Duchess. No, I'm using Duchess. I've got 400 grams of Duchess. That's what I'm using. So yeah, so better have too much than enough. Absolutely, that's exactly what I'm thinking, Samantha. And then I think if we just do our half double crochet row at the end to make it match, like just do the half double crochet all the way along like we did at the start there, and I think we'll have our close enough to a square. So let me get to the end. Last chance. Excellent, thank you. Actually, it might already be closed. It might be closed. So I'm just going to finish this row and then we will draw our Social Man draw. So this is the draw to win a copy of the Despina shawl from my Crochetery. It's a beautiful shawl. It uses 1 skein of yarn. So if you've got a loose lonely skein of 4-ply around your place at the moment, or sock yarn or whatever it is that you like to use, and there's this 1 lonely skein that doesn't have a home, I think I found the pattern for it. So there we go. So that's it. It's squared off. I'm going to go over and check here and check our giveaway. Let's go into the dashboard here. Yeah, so that one's closed now. We had 19 people enter. We're going to go into it and we're going to choose our winner. We're going to choose our winner randomly from all participants, and all participants could be chosen. So choose our winner, and then I need to download the list because it gives me the email address, not their name. So download the entry. So I'll look that up, so give me a second. So hopefully my computer doesn't die while I do this. Oops, that's not it. So download. The winners list is a CSV. That's what I want. The winner chicken dinner is Sherry Downey. Congratulations, Sherry. I will send you your copy of the pattern very soon. So congratulations. Bring up the chat. Oh, face cam, thank you. There we go. We always seem to have 19. We do a lot, don't we? I think the camera's all good now, so I hope it's all good now. So Sherry Downey is our winner of today's draw. After the live stream goes up, there'll be another replay link, so you can go in and enter for a second time. As Jacob said at the beginning, you don't have to watch the whole video to find the link. The link is just in the comments, so you can totally just jump into the comments and grab the link. So congratulations to Sherry, and I hope that you're going to make the shawl. I bought the pattern for myself last night because I was like, I was going to make that today, but I've decided that's sitting on my couch and I really just like it as a couch project. This is going to become a couch project too, I'm sure, but we've got our first square out of, I don't know how many yet because I want to make it like 30 by 30, so probably not heaps of squares. We'll lose some of the top and bottom when we stitch them together. So yeah, so in about an hour or so after the live chat, it takes about an hour. The link will be there in the comments, because what I have to do is, well, Kim's like, measure it. There's nothing, I've got nothing handy I can measure with. So what I can do is I have to wait until it's finished. The YouTube do some stuff, and I have to wait until they finish before they'll let me actually pop a comment in. I need to go and find a tape measure, so bear with me while I grab a ruler. If I was a ruler, where would I be? Okay, I have a ruler. She's dangerous. All right, our little square. No, I just go like that for now because I just want to measure it before I go crazy. Is approximately 7 centimeters by just under 7 centimeters. It's square enough. Yeah, that's square, baby. 7 by 7. So that is about 2.54. So it's just under 3 inches square. Just under. So about 7.5, 7.6 is 3 inches. So the 3 inch mark would be about here. So it's not much off 3 inch squares. I can deal with 3 inch squares. All right, I don't have scissors either. That would be smart. I can't even break this off. So it's always up in the afternoon. I watch the replay while waiting for the kids at school pickup. That's awesome to know. Kathleen says, I had an urgent call. Can you recap what the stitch pattern was? So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to type out what I've done here, and I'm going to pop it over in the Fibrific Fun Zone, just so that we've all got that first little square, and then I'll go through it and I'll work out what I'm going to do for the next square. Now, I'm probably not at 7 centimeters a square. So what's 4 sevens are 28. So 4 by 4, so that's 16. So we could totally do a different square. Like there could be no duplicate squares, like, because this book alone has 63 different cables, and if we've got 16 and 16 is 32 plus whatever we're going to do around the end, you know, it's still only using half the amount of cables in there. Leanne says, I have a great meetup tonight. Where is this year going? Have we talked to Christmas Caffeinated Craft date yet? I won't miss that. We haven't talked Caffeinated Christmas, the Caffeinated Christmas party just yet, other than the fact that we know we want to have one. So we'll sort that out. We'll definitely sort it out. How many different colors do you have? Well, I don't know. Like, I could probably do, I mean, like, there's lots. Like, there's a lot. And there's more inside. So I could probably do 32 different colors as well, which is a bit sad, really. Jackie says make 2 bags. Look, the reality is I used so little yarn. I'm going to throw this on scales. Bear with me for 1 second. It uses like 2.5 grams to make a cable thing. Like, and that's, I mean, that's only light cable. When we start going into more of the bobbly cables and the bigger stuff, it'll use a bit more. But like, that's literally, that's the leftover from my cowl that I made, and I still haven't used it all up. So we're going to be able to go heaps of cool, fun colors. Bye, Jackie. Thank you for modding today. Everybody, I want you to chuck in some mod love to all our mods for coming in and looking after us and making sure that they pop the links up and all that sort of stuff. So that would be really cool. So if you guys wanted to say thank you to all the mods, because I love the mods. They keep me company, they keep me sane. I know if nobody else comes along, I'm going to have mods here. So there's always that little bit of fear that people aren't going to come, which all of you guys are always here. Well, not always, but so often here. It's wonderful, wonderful to see. So massive love. out to all the mods, because you guys are brilliant and do such a good job protecting us from the naughty people, except for Kim, who is naughty people. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. So our mods are fantastic. They keep our space nice and safe for us. They're all fabulous. So thank you. So I've got my first little square. I've got so much work I have to do today, but I just want to keep making adorable little squares. That's right, they keep the chat flowing in, because you guys know sometimes I'm not looking at the chat, and I'll be sitting here working and I'll realize I need to use actual words. And they keep the chat going and they keep it fun for us all. So that's awesome. So thank you. If you guys want to support Fiberific and you can't always like buy yarn or what have you, remembering just to do things like watching the ads makes a big difference. Or even if you wanted to go over to Patreon and pop in as little as $1 a month, helps me to pay for all the cameras and lights and possibly a new microphone that I may have to go out and purchase if this battery replacement thing doesn't work. But anyway, all these sorts of things, they do cost a little bit of money, and having the Patreon money come through, it gets saved into a stockpile to replace gear as we need it. We've just bought a new overhead camera here. We bought some connections, so we've got a better camera facing us. All these amazing things that we get to keep the live chats running. Actually, the problem with this camera here, it's not the camera, it's my limited knowledge on how to set it up. So I'm going to be fixing that up this afternoon. I think I may have popped in a bit too much brightness looking at it on my phone. What is the name of the colorway with the blue and grey stripe top right there by the pink? Blue and grey stripe by the pink. This one here. This one here is basically a half, and it's just a little stripe. It's Moran and mist that have been dyed together. It's beautiful. So it's part of the lake family. It's a dark lake, and so it's more of a tealy color than a blue, I would say, if this is the one you mean. But yeah, I think it's the only stripy sort of one that we've got here. But yeah, it's coming. It's not yet in the regular, it's not yet available online, but it's coming. It's going to be part of the regular repeatable colors. It was a test. So some of these are colors that went out to the Mystery Lace Club members in their Adventure Shawl Mystery Lace Club pack. So they received 25 mini skeins. So this is actually a full one. The ones here that have got little labels are totally just ones that were left over. And so they got these 55 meter mini skeins. And so yeah, Pip and Poppycock says, do you plan to do all the squares live so we can follow? I mean, if you want me to, I can hold off and do a square each week for a few weeks. It would take a while if we do it that way, but I mean, I'm happy to, if that's what you want to do. Sorry, I saw something about that. Is the yellow Cutler? Oh no, yes, this is Cutler. Yep, the one that I've just been using today is Cutler. I'm just going to hold it up here to the camera. It's a bit hard to see. So what I'm going to do, Blue Spanner people are terrific. Yes, they are. They're awesome. So I'm just going to bring it up to our single camera for just a second, just to hold up the Cutler. So the lighting in here, I've got to do something. I've got to work it out and make it better. But yes, it's definitely Cutler. So it's the same as what this is, which seems to just, no, Cutler's not on there. That's not Cutler, I don't think. Is that Cutler? No, that's not Cutler. That's definitely not Cutler. That's the orange. But yes, this is Cutler. So I'm going to drop back to our double camera, and bring back the chat. So what we might have a little vote and see if you guys want me to do all these squares live. I don't have permission to do these stitches live. I might have to contact the designer. This one wasn't in her book. So I might contact the designer and just see what she has to say first before I make any promises. I don't want to upset anybody. I mean, the reality is these are all stitches that we can grab out of other dictionaries as well. It's Soulstone. It's on the blanket. Thank you, Spanner Chick. You're right. But yeah, I'll double check what I can do about the other stitches, but this was just a basic one that I did off the top of my head. This one's not in the book. At your next meetup, cut the will be mine. I like that. It will be mine. Kathleen says that'd be fun. Maybe do some in the group and then some here when you're live too. Yeah, I think so. I think maybe mixing it up a little bit, because I mean the reality is I want to make like 36 of them, and if we just do one a week, that's going to take ages, and I'm not that patient, and I wouldn't wait. I'd end up just rushing ahead and finishing the bag. But yeah, so I mean, so we're working out that we can just use little scraps. We can pop little bits in the over in the Fibrific Fun Zone. We can talk about which cable stitches, but the reality is you can use whatever stitches you want. I'm going to be using this book because I'm obsessed with cables and I feel a bit rusty. So yeah, my lovely friends, I'm going to go. I've got orders I have to pack. I will see you all next week for our die stream. Those of you that are going to Caffeinated Crafters, I'll see you there tonight. Don't forget to come and say hi over in the Fibrific Fun Zone if you're not a member there. Everyone loves a stash busting project. Yeah, and like, are you guys like me and keep, like, you've done a project and you've got this little bit left? Do you keep it? Because I always keep it. I've got so many of these little balls floating around the house. So, I'm too old. I don't have that kind of time. I love that, Kathleen. I'm just impatient. It's not... Okay, I'll see you all later. Bye.